What if I told you the next bottleneck in the AI revolution isn't intelligence, it's memory, not human memory, computer memory? Right now, RAM is quietly disappearing from the market. Prices are rising, data centers are stockpiling, and behind the scenes, the companies building artificial intelligence are competing for one thing: the ability to remember. Today, we're unpacking the silent hardware crisis shaping the future of AI. Welcome back to a new episode of Behind the Facts. I'm Maya.
And I'm Alex.
In this episode, we're going to explore why RAM is suddenly scarce, why AI data centers are hoarding memory, and what this means for gamers, cloud providers, and the future of computing.
And it's really about time we looked at the physical side of this. We talk so much about the software, the models, but we rarely get into the actual nuts and bolts to let them run.
Exactly. We think of the cloud as this infinite resource, but it's just a warehouse full of servers. And right now, those servers are very, very hungry.
They are.
So let's start with what people are actually seeing, because I was looking at some retail stories from Japan, and it felt a lot like the great GPU shortage of 2021.
You mean the rationing? People putting up signs?
The rationing, yeah. Signs saying one kit per customer. And if you're trying to build a gaming PC right now, you've definitely noticed the prices.
Oh, for sure.
Standard 32 gig DDR5 kits, which is what most people want, they jumped something like 80 to 130% in just a few months.
Which is just a crazy spike for a part that's usually a commodity. I mean, RAM prices are supposed to go down over time.
Right. They're not supposed to double in a quarter. I keep seeing these headlines like Rampocalypse or Ramageddon. It sounds dramatic, but is it?
It is, but you have to be specific about what kind of RAM we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like every stick of memory is gone. It's that the really high-end stuff has vanished.
The stuff that goes into servers.
Exactly. The scary number is lead time.
Which is how long it takes from when you order a chip to when it actually shows up.
Right. And for server DRAM right now, that lead time is somewhere between 26 and 40 weeks.
Wow, so that's almost a year.
Basically, if you're a data center, you order today, and you might get your memory late next year. It's the single highest risk component in the entire electronic supply chain right now.
And the main culprit here isn't just general demand. It's one specific thing, right? HBM.
High bandwidth memory. That's the one. The big three manufacturers, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron.
They make almost all of it.
And their order books for HBM. They are completely sold out for all of 2024.
And most of 2025, from what I've read, the Micron CEO pretty much said, don't even ask. It's all spoken for.
It's wild. HBM demand grew almost 200% this year, and it's forecast to double again next year.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen a demand shock like this in a long time.
So the premium product is gone, and that shortage is just pulling up the price of everything else. But let's get into the why. Why is AI so incredibly hungry for memory?
Okay, so we all know the classic analogy, right? The desk versus the filing cabinet.
Yeah, your hard drive is the filing cabinet for long-term storage, and RAM is your desk. It's your active workspace.
Exactly. But for AI, that analogy doesn't quite cut it. It's not just about the size of the desk.
What else is there?
It's about how fast you can read what's on the desk. Imagine you have a desk the size of a football field, but you can only read, like, 1 word a minute. It's totally useless.
Because these big AI models, the LLMs, they have to process massive amounts of data all at once.
Precisely. A model like GPT-4 has hundreds of billions of parameters. Think of them as tiny little knobs. Every time you ask a question, it has to check those knobs. If the memory is slow, the GPU, the brain, is just sitting there waiting.
It hits the memory wall.
It's the memory wall. And HBM is the sledgehammer that breaks that wall. It's not just more memory, it's faster. It's like a fire hose next to a drinking straw.
And these AI chips are packed with it.
A single NVIDIA H100 GPU, which is the gold standard, comes with 80 gigabytes of HBM.
And a server isn't just one GPU, it's a whole rack of them.
Right, you'll have 8, maybe 16 of them. So you're talking about, what, up to 1.5 terabytes of this ultra-fast memory just to let one machine think.
That really puts the scale of it into perspective. It's not software. It's this giant physical beast that just consumes memory. I read that AI servers are now something like 65% of the server market's total value.
It's a staggering change, just in the last 2 years.
So if demand is through the roof, why can't the manufacturers just make more? Why would they leave all that money on the table?
That is the trillion-dollar question, and the answer really comes down to the physics of a silicon wafer.
Okay.
So the manufacturers have a limited number of these wafers they can process, and the brutal truth is that HBM is physically bigger and way, way harder to produce than the normal RAM in your laptop.
I saw a stat that making HBM takes about 3 times more wafer supply than making standard DDR5.
That's about right, yeah. Because HBM isn't a flat chip. It's a stack, 8 or 12 chips layered on top of each other.
And you have to connect them somehow.
You have to drill thousands of microscopic holes through the silicon to connect those layers. It's incredibly delicate work.
So your yield must be lower, the number of chips that actually work.
Significantly lower. So it's a zero-sum game. Every single wafer they use to make AI memory is a wafer that they cannot use to make memory for a gaming PC or smartphone.
They're cannibalizing their consumer lines to feed the AI beast.
That's exactly what's happening. And on top of that, there's another bottleneck, packaging.
Slumming it all together.
Right. You've probably heard the term CoWoS.
From TSMC, it's their special way of attaching the memory to the GPU.
It is. And they're basically the only company that can do it reliably at scale. They're trying to triple their capacity, but you can't just snap your fingers and build these incredibly complex facilities.
And the big three, the memory makers, they're still a bit spooked from the last downturn, aren't they?
They are absolutely traumatized. 2022 and 2023 were a bloodbath for them. Demand crashed. Sales dropped over 60%. They lost billions.
So they cut back on everything.
They slashed production, stopped building new factory lines. Now that demand is exploding, they're really hesitant to overbuild and get burned again. They'd rather keep supply tight and prices high.
Which leads to the economic fallout. The winners and the losers.
The domino effect.
We've talked about gamers paying this AI tax on their new PCs, but I'm more worried about the small guys, the startups.
It's a huge problem. The hyperscalers, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they go to the manufacturers with what are called open-ended orders, meaning they say, we will buy everything you can possibly make for the next 2 years. Here's a blank check.
So if I'm a small, innovative AI startup and I want to build my own hardware.
You can't. It's not available. You are physically locked out of the market. Your only option is to rent cloud space from the very giants you're trying to compete with.
It just centralizes all the power.
It creates this massive moat around the big tech companies, and then you throw the whole geopolitical layer on top of it, the chip war.
The U.S. restrictions on exporting high-end chips to China.
Right. High-end HBM is effectively banned from being exported to China. The goal is to slow down their military AI development.
But that splits the market in a really weird way, doesn't it?
It does. While the West is fighting over the latest HBM, China is just hoarding everything else. They're buying up older chips, older manufacturing equipment, anything they can get their hands on.
And right in the middle of all of this is Taiwan.
The Silicon Shield. TSMC produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips, if anything happens there. A conflict, an earthquake.
The global AI industry just stops.
It goes dark overnight.
Okay, that's a pretty sobering thought. Let's switch gears for a second and just hit people with the sheer scale of the money involved here. Some of the numbers I saw were just mind-blowing.
Let's do it.
First up, the trillion-dollar bet. That's what analysts think will be spent on AI infrastructure in the next 5 years.
$1 trillion. Then you have the price surge. By next year, DRAM prices are expected to be up 171% year over year.
Nearly triple. And HBM revenue by itself is projected to hit $100 billion by 2028.
It's just eating the entire market. They estimate that by 2030, 70% of all data center capacity will be for AI.
And the demand again, up 200% this year, set to double again next year.
It's not a curve anymore. It's a vertical line.
So the big question then, when does this end? Are we just stuck with expensive electronics from now on?
It's not going to be a quick fix. That's the honest answer. Most analysts I read don't see the pressure easing until 2026, maybe even 2027.
Why so long?
Because you can't build these factories, these fabs, overnight. SK Hynix is building a $4 billion plant in Indiana. Samsung is expanding in Korea.
But those take years to come online.
Exactly. It's a 3 to 4 year process to build a fab and get it running. So help is coming, but it's not coming until 2027 or 2028.
So we're just in this gap, this long, expensive gap.
We are. It's being called an AI memory supercycle. This isn't a normal boom and bust. It's a fundamental structural shift where demand is just going to outstrip supply for years.
So high prices might just be the new normal for a while.
For the foreseeable future, yeah.
It's amazing to think about, though. The whole digital world, this ethereal thing, it all comes down to tiny components made in a handful of factories.
It really grounds the whole AI conversation, doesn't it?
It really does. Which I think gets to the real heart of the issue. The real story behind AI isn't just clever code. It's a silent battle over who controls the memory and compute needed to run that code at scale.
And when RAM becomes a rationed resource, You're no longer just buying hardware.
You're buying a share of the future's intelligence capacity.
That's a powerful way of putting it. But, there is a hopeful side to this.
Please, I think we need it.
Well, technology always adapts. Engineers are already designing HBM4, which will be more efficient. They're developing new ways to bond chips together.
So innovation finds a way around the bottlenecks.
It always does. And historically, every time there's a massive shortage of something, whether it was oil or rare earth metals, the supply chain eventually catches up. The incentive to make money is just too strong.
We're just in the messy, expensive growing pains of a new industrial revolution.
Exactly. It's chaotic now, but it will stabilize eventually.
That's all for today's episode.
If you enjoyed this one, take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it too.
Thanks for listening.